What is up, everybody? It's a beautiful day here in the Savage Guard Inn in Sentinel. Yeah, man, I'm just excited to play some more Daggerfall with you guys. It's actually just a few days after recording my previous episode, and I've already found another window for me to play some more dang Daggerfall, and that's just awesome. We got a quest, one of my favorites in the main quest, to go from the random tavern that gets assigned to this quest in Sentinel, all the way up here to Ykalon, where we must go to. It's not Castle. It's Castle Llugwich, right? Double L. Yep, way up here. What's crazy is we have 329 days to do it, and I think what do they want us to do? Bring it back within 329 days. I have 300 to find and return the dagger. So let's just assume that we were to travel to Castle Llugwich. Let's see how long this would take. Yep. So let's go to inns, travel by... Okay. Yeah, ship travel isn't showing an option, but that's okay. Traveling cautiously would take 33 days, and recklessly would take 17 days. So shave off roughly, what is it? 34 days of our time limit to account for traveling. And this leaves us with almost 300 days, about 205 if my head math is holding up, 295 I mean, for us to figure out this dungeon. And this is a pretty jarring amount of time, and this decision for this quest line is what makes it so interesting for me. By the way, we found this campsite right here next to the Savage Giant Inn, or whatever it's called. So we're gonna go rough up some folks and see if we can't practice our streetwise some. Nope. But yeah, so many quests have like an urgent deadline, and this one is like, yeah, it's on the other, it's in the other province, but it makes you wonder why the developers gave you so much time. And in my mind, they want you to be prepared for this challenging dungeon. And so it poses the question to me, it's like, what does the player need to do during this timeline to be prepared to not get killed in this dungeon? And that's what we're going to be sorting out in this episode. Honestly, with how tough Bogart is, I think that we could probably travel straight to the dungeon and start taking care of it. But I don't... You know, we've had such a bad case of destination fever with being sent from one quest target to the next, and I'm like trying to grind out these main quests. Yeah, these main quests. But I think we're going to put ourselves in Bogart's shoes some, and we're going to try to slow down and travel along the wayside. And you know, if we don't even get to... if we don't even get there to the dungeon in this episode, that's fine by me, because we have not done a lot of guild questing. We haven't had the pleasure of exploring random dungeons. Like, we've only been going to find like quest items and things like this. One thing that we can make a sort of objective while we are preparing for this dungeon is leveling up our archery some. Let's go take a look at our character sheet. Hand-to-hand is already at 76. That's phenomenal. Our hand-to-hand damage is 8 to 16. And as our speed increases further, we're going to start just like... it'll be like those Rock'em Sock'em robots where you're trying to punch as fast as you can by mashing the buttons. That's how this game is going to start feeling. But it looks like archery is at 52. We have a ways to go there. And it would benefit us to get some training in that, as well as these others, dodging and critical strike. So... we're going to have the kind of sub-goal of using archery for combat as we explore, as well as building up money to get training whenever we can. So that's the goal for this. We want to train, we want to do some guild questing and things like that. But ultimately, we're going to use this opportunity to just take it easy some. You know, look at how gorgeous this is. Look at this. I kind of want to go out there. I just know that since we're playing Daggerfall, like, look at this shape. You have... sort of this peninsula, or a land, what do you call it? A land bar coming out in the ocean here. If this were Oblivion, Morrowind, or Skyrim, the developers would reward your exploration by keeping like a little dungeon or little item out there hidden between some rocks, like a little treasure chest for you to find. I'm pretty confident that in this case there's nothing there, so I'm actually not really invested in going to check it out. But let's start our journey by finding the closest port. Oh, there's actually a little village here. Let's go to the one to the north called Zagumbakom. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, let's travel here and get to the port, and then we'll go across the pond. Okay, we're going straight toward the land. Yeah, we're gonna have to travel this way some. Yeah, this is I've been eager to find more time to record. I think I'll have some upcoming. But man, I've just had the urge to play Daggerfall, and it's hard to give the playthrough the attention it deserves sometimes. And thankfully, I don't have a lot of stuff to do during my lunch break today, so here we are doing some more lunch break exploring. We all know how well that works out for us. It keeps me kind of with a sense of urgency of like, okay, let's do as much as we can with this hour that we have. But ultimately, this is like an impulse I've had since I was a young child. Like, once you have the video game bug, it's kind of hard to fight the urge to play during times like this, whenever you do have downtime, and this only becomes more and more pertinent as you grow older and you start to have conflicting interests. Because, you know, if Hudson were here, I would need to play with Hudson. If, or, you know, all eat lunch together, that sort of thing. Or if it's at nighttime, then I should be spending time with my wife or my family, things like that. But here we are, just in the middle of the day. Let's get a quick hour in whenever we can. Previously, whenever you're younger and you don't really have a lot of obligations keeping you from your video games, you know, it's great being able to play what you want when you want. You know, shout out to all my NEETs out there who live that kind of life, but it's not me, you know. It's so exhausting to be able to do whatever you want all the time. And like they say, separation makes the heart grow fond. So the fact that I don't have a ton of time for recording, like, it's kind of unfortunate that I don't get to produce more content. I know that I'd make more money off my YouTube channel if I made more content, just because like the view count would be there. You spot a cluster of greener vegetation off the distance. There might be a source of water here where you could refill your water skin. Sure, let's look for it. Hey, my water skin is no longer empty. All right, found a little bit of fresh water here amid all the salt water, I'm guessing. But yeah, separation makes the heart grow fond, and for that reason, I think it's great that I don't have a ton of time to play video games, because then this time that I do have to play Daggerfall, it's so, yeah, it's just so enjoyable. You know, it's like seeing an old friend again that you only get to hang out with like once a week. Okay, we're like actually starving, it seems like. Do I have any food? Yeah, let's eat the meat. Okay, I hope that does it. Okay, no, we need to go ahead and just like make camp, because we're about to get eaten by stuff if we don't get our stamina up some. I don't know what happened there. Rest. Still fully healed. Yeah, what the hell? Got really hungry all of a sudden or something? Rest until fully healed, I said. And now it's nighttime, but you know what? We're still going to travel around in the night some. I would have more details about what was going on with my stamina if I opened up my menu, I guess. I should dress lighter. Oh, gosh, man, it's so hard to tell sometimes. Let's see. I should still dress lighter. But if I take off the cloak, then once I get, like, hurt by the rain? What do you want from me, game? Like, okay, I take off the cloak. You should dress lighter. Are you kidding? The gauntlets? I should dress lighter. Don't make me walk around in my underwear. Okay, alright. Well, here we are. Here's the state of Bogart, everyone. We have to walk around in just our shoes. I guess we can go barefoot if we're taking it this far. Alright, Bogart's OnlyFans will be up soon, everyone. Don't you worry. Okay, let's go ahead and zip on over to this place. We're running into a mountain. It's draining our stamina. Cute. I am quite wet. Okay, thanks, game. Yeah, this is one of those situations where, like, I love climates and calories so much, but, like, I don't know what to do here. Please, somebody in the comments, tell me how I can dress lighter while also being protected from the rain. I'm so, like, conflicted about what to do here. Okay, we're just gonna try again. Let's go. Oh, shit, man. Okay, I ran into the mountain again. All right, let's go. We're so close to our port town. Oh, enemies are seeking to prevent our travel. And this is so cool. We're having a little encounter. Oh, while the lights of the village are off in the distance. This reminds me of one of the last scenes in the book, The Giver. Did y'all ever have to read The Giver in middle school? It's like, man, I won't try to bore you with like the whole plot synopsis. I'm still somewhat wet. I have to make camp, I guess, again. I won't bore you with the whole plot synopsis, but there's the end of this book where this kid escapes from his like weird, somewhat dystopian society, and goes to rejoin what we would call the real world, or like a more default culture. And he's in this like frozen wasteland, and he's going down this sled down a hill, and he can just see the lights of a village off in the distance. And he's like, oh, that's where I need to be. That's what that kind of reminds me of. Unfortunately, this village, while it has a port, it doesn't have a tavern. So that's a bit weird. We're gonna go ahead and get dressed, assuming we, like, whoever takes us on their ship will want us to have pants on and maybe a shirt. Let's do this here shirt. Yeah, take off the cloak. And we're going to set sail. So we should already be, yeah, we're in a port town now. Now, where do we sail to? If we want to make a, I guess the responsible thing is going right across to Anticlere or Shalgora. I don't remember what my reputation is like in these towns, though, or in these locations. So, let's go to this peninsula in Anticlere. Aldwall Rock. We're going to travel cautiously. I'm honestly not super concerned about the time limit. Oh, look, traveling by ship brings it down to like 7 days. Do we go recklessly? I think cautiously is fine. An added benefit here is it will increase the likelihood of like this causing tension for us, so that's good. Refill our water. Fish got a bit moldy. Let's put our shoes back on. Here it goes. All right. Douse our lantern, and here we are. I'm a common citizen in this place, which is great. I honestly, was kind of expecting that I would have already done a couple hit and runs in this area. I think it might be Shalgora where we're not really well received. So we can disable the port filter. Now, I could do some, I want to go to a smaller location to do some questing, honestly. So we might just travel northward toward Dania. Let's take a look at our potions and make sure we're good on everything. I know we needed some invisibility potions. We have one potion of teleport. That's with an anchor setup already. Yeah. So, oh, you know what? We could have warped to Coegria, but I remember I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to have to do more shopping, basically. So yeah, we'll basically do some more overland travel and see what kind of interesting stuff we can find. I don't think we have any real like dungeons to look for in this region yet. You know what, man? Let's slow down a bit. Let's slow down and pick up a quest. Maybe find a dungeon to start working on. Because even if we just pick up a dungeon from the Fighters Guild and then can't like complete the quest, that's not that big of a deal. Our reputation. Oh, what the hell? I'm healthy. All my stats are kind of diminished. Gonna assume that's not a big deal though. Yeah, we were going to look at our affiliations. Yeah, you can tell that our reputation is decaying a little bit since we haven't been doing much questing. But yeah, even if we fail a quest every now and then, I think it only knocks you 1 reputation point. And this means that we could fail like 13 more times for the Fighters Guild, and it would be totally fine. It looks like we need to dry off again, so we're just gonna pop into this this little shop here. Let's get rid of some of. Well, I don't know. We actually don't need to sell those ingredients. Let's just focus on getting money in the bank, sort of. No, I want to liquidate the assets by getting potions. Potions are just like my love language in Daggerfall. It'd be great to have more. We need stamina. No, we don't. We just need more potions of teleportation would be great. I think we're honestly good on everything else. Since we're a bit damp because we haven't had our cloak on, we're going to go into this tavern. Let's get us a little sippy of, well, yeah, sippy of some ale. Let's get us some oatmeal with berries. And let's loiter here for a couple of hours. All right. Okay, we'll see what kind of jobs we can pick up for the Thieves Guild. I could use a... Speaking of like how I'm on my lunch break, I could actually use a bit of a lunch right now too. But I'm more likely to just like use my lunch break to do exactly what I want with it, and then like scarf down like a burrito while in between, you know, tasks or like between emails. You should not be surprised to hear that the elders have rewarded your inadequacy with a demotion. Well, shit, guys. I forgot to turn in that cloak last time, and it's biting me in the ass. But that's okay. We're going to do some grinding some. Oh, there, Bogard. You remember me? Mordenak Hearthcroft, are you up for a guild job today? I don't think we've met today, bud, but I'll be happy to help. This rich guy just got a painting that could fetch a nice price. He stashed it in the Hearthcroft residence in the Masterton farmstead. Bring it back, and you get a guild fee of 427 gold pieces, and we need it within 12 days. All right. Let's go ahead and head that way. The Masterton farmstead, sure. Yeah, it's really hard to focus on guild work whenever I want to just like stay alive and enough to see the main quest through. But you know, we'll do what we can, because I've always wanted to have a high-ranking character in the Thieves Guild. It's never really happened though. Like once you have the point where you have access to the fence, the spy master, and the rumor master or whatever they're called, it sounds awesome. Okay, so we're going to the Masterston farmstead. Let's take a look at our map. The Masterston. Yeah, it's a ways over to the west. That's all right. Let's see if there are any dungeons. We could hit a couple crypts or cemeteries on the way, but that doesn't sound especially profitable. I wonder if there's a fighters guild in this town. Let's go talk to someone. Hey, man. Fighters guild? Nope, no fighters guild in this town, so... Yeah, we are officially in just go to the next town mode. And it looks like our best bet is to exit this town through the eastern gate and start traveling from there. Yeah, so I mentioned my lunch options because, or just lunch in general, because my wife and I moved into this place that has a pupuseria down the road. If you don't know about pupusas, they're like this, it's a cuisine from El Salvador, and if you have the pleasure of being around some, I'm pretty sure it's El Salvador. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have the pleasure of trying out this kind of food, I really highly recommend it. I'm not saying that it's going to beat the kind of Latin American food that you prefer already. Oh man, are we? We'll make it to the next town. Our stomach is rumbling, just like IRL. Oh, some centaurs have interrupted our travel. I think there's an update to one of our mods that adds enemy varieties for centaurs, which is just awesome. Oh, dude, we took him down with one shot. We took this one down with one shot. Okay, this guy's a bit more persistent. Let's punch him in the face to finish him off. Nice. And ever since my wife and I moved into this rent house, like literally months ago, we're like, oh, pupuseria, let's go try it out. And then whenever lunchtime rolls around, I just go and pick up some Dairy Queen so I can have some chicken tenders and white gravy because I'm a basic Southern boy. And, you know, it's just a real shame. And so recently we made a point to go out of our way and actually try the pupuseria, and it did not disappoint. The pupusas in general, they're kind of like these, they resemble in shape a tortilla, but they're much thicker, and their consistency has like a bit of a granularity to it. I don't know how to describe it, but I believe a difference between the tortillas and pupusas is that there's like a certain stuffing inside of it, like the bread or the dough itself. It has like some chicken or some spinach or some cheese and things like that, kind of directly injected, so to speak, into the pupusa. And so this makes it kind of interesting. And normally, like, I'm not a big fan of the texture. However, the best thing about some authentic Latin American food is you know that the homemade salsa that they have is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And so I'll go down to this pupuseria. I'll get their little the pupusas, and I'll eat it with that salsa verde, and it just like I don't really even care what else is like there. I just want that dang salsa. It's in this this meal that it's made evident that a lot of things that you eat for nutrition are just vehicles to gain access to the sauce. And it's taken me a long time to realize this, but I'm kind of picky about some things, and it's specifically sauces and condiments that I'm not as like open-minded to as I'd like to be. I just like some white sauces in particular, like mayonnaise. Like it just anything that's mayonnaise based is a huge turnoff for me. I'm working on it. All right, guys. Like I'm eating chipotle mayo whenever I can, or garlic aioli whenever I can, because I want to be able to eat all of the food in the world. You know, food is just such a fantastic thing, and I'm grateful for every bite that I get. And so I feel like it's just such a huge flaw that this town does have a fighter's guild, so that's cool. I feel like it's such a flaw that oh, dude, no. I turned auto running on just for a second, because I learned, thanks to Robust Nut, thank you, that you can turn off auto run, like the sprinting, by pressing the shift button. The time it took to get to the shift button was enough time for me to run over a villager. Damn it, dude. Like, dude, I already, whatever, man. I'm just gonna pay the fine, but that's so annoying. Bribe the guard if I can, sure. Not interested. Surrender, yep. Oh, we were accused of the crime of assault. Man, I was just riding my horse. If that person was watching where they were going, we wouldn't be in this situation. You know what? You got me fair and square. Take my money. All right, well, there's 13 days down the drain. Whatever. That's bullshit. Whatever, man. I got Daggerfall on, fair and square. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, my stomach's rumbling. I'm hungry again. Okay, we're gonna practice. Okay, we're officially in just trot mode. So if I do it again, it seems that every time I enter the auto run mode, I have to hit the shift button immediately. Like I can't just set that to be the default as far as I'm aware. Robust Nut, if you have more expertise here and I'm missing some setting, please let me know. Yeah, unfortunate turn of events, but you know what? Bogart has always been misunderstood. He's not that evil, but he is a ruffian, to say the least. And so whenever somebody gets their ankles twisted, whenever they get the occasional hoof on their chest, that's no skin off his back. It's just part of what happens. We're rich, we'll pay the fine, we'll sell our assets if we need to get more money in the bank, that sort of thing. Speaking of more money in the bank, we're going to see how much training archery takes right now. Training. Critical strike would be good too, but we want accuracy. We want to be able to hit high-level targets that have high evasion, so training is good. Let's go ahead and get our quest. We've got a little job you might be interested in. There's some Laup. Yeah, Laup, Loop. There's some Laup, what you call our basic werewolf, wereboar, or some other werebeastie that's been bothering a lot of farmers in the area, and we need someone to go kill it. It'll mean 352 gold in your pocket. That sound interesting to you? Yeah, let's do it, man. Great. You'll find that Laup over near the Fortress of Rodard. Okay, so this is one that we are very likely to fail just based on the fact that there's a 22-day time limit and we're going to a dungeon. Let me go ahead and... Oh, excuse me. I had a sneaky little burp. Let's go ahead and mark this place down in our little Daggerfall document. Usually I use this to track dungeons from maps and things like that, but in this case, I think it's worth just tracking every one that we have. So we're gonna go Anticlere. This one is called the Fortress of Rodard. Great. All right, let's Control S. Put that down there. Alrighty, so we're deliberately doing this thing where we're going to slow down and we are going to it's kind of like the travelogue section of being Bogart. All right, we're just going to see where the wind takes us. We're guided by the plan of training and taking down, like getting this artifact back for the the Under King. I really hope that completing this before completing Manamarco's quest does not soft lock me in the main quest. I'm not sure what I would do in that situation, besides maybe, like, I don't know if I'd be ready to make a new character just because I failed the main quest. You know, I don't think that'll happen because we already got invited to do the quest, but it's a real possibility that we're doing things out of order here. Let's go ahead and rest here. Yeah, let's get a room. Oh yeah, so I was talking about the pupuseria because the pupusas are good, especially with the sauce they make. But what's really good are the tortas. I don't know if you've had a torta before, but it's almost like a sandwich, but it has that big puffy bread that you get from like a Michoacana or like some other Latin American food market. I say Latin American because this is obviously a Salvadoranian restaurant, but usually it's Mexico in the United States. So Michoacana is more of a Mexican food place, but yeah, they have that kind of puffy bread, and a torta is like a sandwich that just has like a bunch of really good stuff in it. I prefer barbacoa with it. Wait, why isn't my stamina coming back? Was I loitering? Okay, weird. The first time I ever had barbacoa, my friend was like, hey, it's going to resemble pulled pork some, but I don't want to tell you what it is until you eat it. So I ate it, and I was like, all right, I'm going to trust the process. It really was delicious. It's right up my alley. It turns out that barbacoa, if I remember correctly, is kind of like cow face. It's like the tender meat from the cheeks and stuff from a cow, and like I have full respect for that kind of. You want to use every piece of an animal that you can, but that to the sheltered American sensibility that can be kind of jarring, and so I'm glad my friend. He helped me. He presented it in a way that made me open-minded to the food, without like disgusting me outright. Let's pull this back up and put it on my other monitor. Because you know how forgetful I am. We're going to see where the Fortress of Rodard is. Okay, that's west also. Cool. This is great. This is just part of what I love about the simulation aspects of Daggerfall is... let's go ahead and get some food. I think I just ate, but I'm going to make sure. Okay, I feel invigorated. Yeah, I really like that we can just go out and have a list of errands that take us all the way to these different destinations, and we have to plan our path properly and stuff like that. I just get a real kick out of that. Let's see how we're doing on... Okay. Wanted to make sure we weren't overheated or something like that, or, you know... I need to make a habit of checking our menus for climates and calories more often is what I'm getting at. But yeah, those tortas are phenomenal, and the price is right. You know, down the road, I can get a torta and a side of rice or something like that for like $10. And if I were to go to a fast food chain just for like a burger or my whole chicken tenders with white gravy setup, that would set you back like, I don't know, $15 for the amount that I want to eat as a dude that is... I have a pretty voracious appetite, let me put it that way. Hostile group of foes, let's shoot them down. I think it's like partially because I work out so often, but it's partially because of my metabolism. I don't know. It's like I need so much nourishment that I find myself eating a ton. Like my portion sizes are huge, partly because I'm just a helpless glutton, and partially because of my metabolism. And you know, I act like a toddler most of the time. Like I just want to run and play all the time. Somewhat related to this is I saw an Instagram reel where this person was like, here's why I'm glad that I had I'm a father of a little baby girl or what have you. And it shows the reels of boys doing a bunch of stupid stuff. And yeah, women live longer than men because men are just, I don't want to say, we're just stupid, okay? We do reckless things as like almost because of our DNA, I would say. But those reckless things are so much fun, and I'm so glad that whenever my wife was pregnant, we were kind of fantasizing about having a girl. How cool would it be to have a little precious girl? My wife's dad is a girl dad. You know, my wife has just one sister as a sibling. And so being a part of their family, getting ingratiated into their family made me see what a beautiful thing it can be to be a girl dad. And so I was kind of romanticizing about that some. But now that Hudson is here, I'm like, man, this is certainly the kid for me. And of course, whatever child we ended up with, it would have been the perfect child for us. These things are, call it the will of the universe or divine dispensation, but these things are chosen for us for our edification and for our, happiness on this planet, and kind of for the survival of our species in a way. So whatever we want is less important than what we get, because what we get is almost always going to be, it's certainly, I'd say, going to be better than what we want. And I'm so happy that it worked out the way it did with Hudson, because he's just like such a daddy's boy lately, man. He just wants to play all the time. He wants to wrestle, and working from home, I'll go into the backyard every now and then. Like, I'll just go to the kitchen. Oh, let's refill my coffee. Let's refill my water. And I'll see that my wife and son are outside, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go say hi for a second. And so I'll go out there, and the way that Hudson's disposition changes whenever he sees me, and he just gets so excited, it's you can't replace that with any other feeling. So yeah, I'll go outdoors and we'll start wrestling some, and he'll want to play with me, and I'll pick him up and spin him in circles, which he's not super excited about. But lately we've been kicking a soccer ball around, and we'll chase a soccer ball, and then I'll like spike a volleyball around, and we'll just like run around chasing the balls, and it's just such a pure happiness. Like, I don't mean pure as in like sullied or something like that. I mean that chasing a ball is like a sort of happiness that has stood the test of time. Almost every human in the world, like since the dawn of time, has known the simple joy of running, jumping, whacking a ball, and just those basic recreational activities that are just so phenomenal and irreplaceable, that has stood the test of time. Those same humans who have gazed upon like Orion and the Big Dipper, and like we're all unified by certain experiences such as marveling at the constellations. Well, another thing that unites humanity are these simple acts of bonding with your child, playing around and like having fun, moving your body. I don't know if I'm just romanticizing all of this too much, but there's just something so special about play. Just playing is so cool. And this is part of why I act like a toddler, is I don't want to hide from the fact that I want to play all the time. It's our third meal of the day in Daggerfall, by the way, because I'm scared of being hungry and I always want the invigoration bonus. So yeah, just ate our third meal. Money is no object for Bogard at this point. Although it's starting to become an object, I guess, because that archery training costs 1,700 gold. Yeah, let's skip the meal this time. Yeah, part of why I have the bandwidth to play right now is my wife is working today, and this means that last night Hudson spent the night with his grandparents, and yeah, this means that I'm well rested. And that I don't have to worry about any like screaming babies or anything like that. And shout out to our boy Towo for reminding me that it's fine whenever Hudson's in the background. It's like a local celebrity. That cracked me up whenever I read that, because he is. I guess I do talk about him all the time because he's like my favorite thing. It's only whenever Hudson is like in a mood, and like his Hudson's room is adjacent to mine, so if he's specifically being like put into new clothes, he is likely to be throwing a fit about something. And so I just don't want a screaming baby to be in the background. And if my headphones are on, which they almost always are, I'm very unlikely to know if he's screaming until after the fact. And I honestly don't do a lot of post editing these days. I'll trim out the intros and editing and intros and outros. And like episode 13, I had a lot of smaller segments that I needed to trim down. But overall, I don't want to like edit more than I have to. I just don't have the time for it. We're stifling a yawn, but I think it would be more fun to get some more traveling in. Let's see. Let's go ahead and look at where we're going for the Thieves Guild. Thieves Guild. Well, bro, what happened to my Thieves Guild quest? Why isn't it listed here? Is this another time where I need to, did I fail it already? Let's go affiliations. Our reputation dropped to 16. It was 18 a second ago. I'm guessing that I did something that caused the quest to fail. And, you know, I'm not at the point in my life where I care to troubleshoot that issue. So let's just set our sights on, what's it called? The Fortress of Rodard. Maybe I'll look back at the footage and see what happened there, but I don't see it listed in my active quest. Wait, I know how to do this. Okay, so I used the print underscore quests. In case this happens to any of you, you can like bring up the command line with the tilde button and type print underscore quest, and this will, oh no, isn't that, dang it. I thought that's what I just did. Oh, print quests, it's plural. Print quests, and this will output a list of all of your quests that are ongoing and completed. So the valuable artwork is showing as finished and ended. I don't know what caused that to finish prematurely. Like, we didn't even like run out of time or anything like that. It's been 2 days. We only picked up a new quest, and you know, sometimes I would go look into this further. It's a bit awkward as a, you know, YouTuber that this is happening in the middle of a game. But I'm just like chilling right now. I don't really care about that quest line anyway. We're just gonna keep on trucking, and we will go to the hunt for a lycanthrope quest, which thankfully is still running. So yeah, not sure what happened there. I even disabled quest packs to make sure that that wasn't interfering. But you know, there's just, the game's broken on my installation to some level, and I don't really care to look into it further. Like, the amount of time it takes to troubleshoot this sort of thing often has diminishing returns. So we're just gonna keep playing the dang game, and maybe my dream of collecting a bunch of quests to do, like piecemeal as we go along, isn't really going to work out if this keeps happening. Maybe I'll try to test that out if I can remember. Let me make a note while we're traveling. I just said I wasn't going to test this and like troubleshoot, but here we are. Test quest issue. Just jot that down on my little notes there. Yeah, man, it seems... Oh, pack of ghouls. That could be scary. It seems like I just can't shake my tech issues with Daggerfall Unity, and I'm... Oh, this is not scary. These are low-level enemies. I'm at peace with it at this point, you know? It's not really a big deal. As long as the game is still functioning and I can complete the main quest without dying, you know, that's what matters. But yeah, we've been doing a bit too much main quest grinding at the same time, so I'm looking forward to, you know, slowing things down and doing a bit more of the day-to-day stuff with Bogard. But at the same time, there are those that watch this channel that haven't played Daggerfall before, and so maybe you're wanting to see the main quest progress, so I think there's a balance to be found here. Let's go ahead and camp with, like, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. I was going to camp with these friendly adventurers, but we're just going to keep on trucking, man. I want to get to this dungeon so bad, I tell you. I want to fight stuff. I want to, you know, harden the calluses on my knuckles a bit further. I want to wear out the string of my bow by practicing, things like that. Got some orcs in the distance. I love these nighttime encounters. It's like you don't really know where they're going to jump out of the shadows from, but I'm just going to keep moving in a westward direction. And then we'll keep traveling if we're far enough away. And we are. Yeah, okay. Maybe we... Oh, a group of nymphs. That's not good. Yeah, maybe we were far enough away or noticed the orcs before they noticed us. Didn't run into any issues there. Okay, so we just got the message that our stomach is rumbling. It's now about to be midnight, so I think this is a good time to set up camp. Notably, we only have one set of rations left, and we don't have any food on us. So going into a dungeon without proper equipment or provisions in general, not a very good idea. Rest for a while. Let's go ahead and rest for 9 hours. I think that'll make climates and calories happy. So we're going to want to make a pit stop before we go into the dungeon. Hey, our archery improved, so that's good. Let's take a look at our map. We are right here, and the fortress that we're going to is right over here. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and make a pit stop over here in Bailwich. You know, I don't really try to sometimes I want to pronounce things correctly in this game, but honestly, I think, oh, wait, you know what? We might be able to trade with these adventurers. Sometimes I think it's not worth it to try. He's not impressed by our etiquette. Honestly, whenever you're trying to pronounce things correctly and all the names are procedurally generated, and like, I don't really put too much stock into the names or pronunciations of these things for that reason. It's like, just say the syllables and it'll probably be fine. Fine. This happened. Oh, a flock of dragonlings interrupting our travel. That's cool. This happens a lot with fantasy literature in general, although this is like, the names here are kind of low fantasy. Like, they just seem like they're, you know, just borrow a lot from, out of arrows. Interesting. It seems to borrow a lot from other literature and like British names and stuff like that. So the names aren't super complex here, but if you're ever reading like a lot of Russian literature or fantasy literature that has really complex names, it's like at a point I stop even caring about the pronunciation. I just want my brain to be able to look at the word and recognize the reference and move on from there, because it's like, beyond that, who cares, you know? I'm a pretty big fan of Russian literature. You know, I really like Dostoevsky, even though I have not read a lot of his more popular work. I read one pretty big brag I have is that I finished War and Peace, and this just requires you to pay a lot of attention to a whole, just so many names that you have to keep track of. And you don't get access to those names consistently. You'll forget about a character for a while because you're tracking this other plot thread, and then you're back to Rusnikov or whoever, and it's like, okay, yeah, who's this person? Who do they care about? And what's their situation like? You know, you have a lot of stuff to keep track of there. So at a point, you know, you stop caring about the names that you're not going to be able to pronounce, and you just kind of focus on being able to understand the reference more than anything. Okay, we're going to get a couple rations, a little bit of food. No arrows here, unfortunately. Yeah, fantasy literature has a lot of names that I think are kind of hard to pronounce. You know, I don't do a ton of writing these days. Maybe one day I'll pick up my little fantasy trilogy again. But I'm a pretty staunch supporter of not trying to make yourself super original in your writing, and instead focus on being like, I think some people focus on originality so much that it impedes the work, because like, we already understand that there's nothing new under the sun. Even whenever you try to be original, your efforts to be original are more glaring than any claims someone would make about your writing being bland or like uninspired if you didn't try to make the originality, like, you know, focusing on originality for originality's sake is less rewarding than creating an original feeling situation just by allowing the situation to be organic. You know what I mean? Like, just tell the story in a way that is simple, and let the reader figure out the rest. And you know, like, your simple story is going to be a lot easier to follow. And if there's complexity to be had, let it happen not through the names being super creative. Let it happen through the characterization and the situations that arise. Of course, I've never been published and won't even try to be, so take my advice with a grain of salt. This has just been my experience as I stare at the blank white page. It's been my experience as I try to think of the next name for this next NPC that will be here for 2 scenes and then leave forever, you know? Like, we don't have to come up with our own pantheon of names. So let's just use what we have. A little caveat there is it's very hard to use existing names without creating some sort of connotation for people. So, you know, if you call a character Jesus, well, you're obviously going to be contending with some imagery that's going to be jumping to someone's mind because this name is already used in people's minds already. So keep all that in mind, but don't just make impronounceable stuff just for the fun of it. With that being said, I did write in one of my... It's a book that I've referenced as being sloppy and kind of meandering. This book had some characters that were kobolds, and I intentionally made the kobolds' names impronounceable, or like, it doesn't make sense to pronounce it with our mouths, because in the lore of the setting, the kobolds had a split tongue. It's kind of like a forked tongue, but the fork occurs much closer to like the back of the mouth than what we are used to. And so let's see how many arrows we got. We got 25 arrows out of that. That's pretty cool. All that's to say that these kobolds had articulators that our mouths don't have. And so like I would just throw some syllables on a page and trust that like the reader isn't going to be able to figure this out. Like this is a kobold name. We're just using English characters to try to make sense of it, but you're not going to make sense of it because you actually can't speak their language. Whether that was a good choice, you know, I made a lot of questionable choices with that manuscript, so not too concerned about it. Yeah, maybe one day I'll revisit that stuff, but you know, I'm just not... I spread myself so thin with the YouTube thing, with my career thing, with wanting to make RPG material thing. It's just something's got to give, and right now I think what's going to give are my bad manuscripts. One day something will change that will light my fire and make me want to get into the headspace of writing and revising again. But that's not happening right now, and that's fine by me. Okay, we're gonna quick save and update our dungeon save slot since we have found our way to... We're here, right? Yeah, Fortress of Rodard. We're looking for a lycanthrope. We're kind of low on HP, so we're just gonna make camp out here before diving in, because we want to be as far away from one-shot land as possible as we enter this dungeon. Okay. Wish us luck, everybody. Let's go. What does this have in store? Oh! Spider. Okay, I punched it out of instinct, but that was a little bit reckless of us. Yeah, Daggerfall dungeon ambiance. Look at this little goblin. Oh yeah, this looks like this is going to be a cakewalk. I don't think I even care to slow down and like loot the place. We're just gonna start throwing some hands. This is actually just a couple of rats. I don't want to waste my time in this room personally. Yeah, Daggerfall dungeon ambiance. It has invocations, or it evokes such like, it's so sinister, you know. Oh, who are you? Oh, this is a battle mage of some sort? Maybe. Oh, dude, I'm paralyzed. Not like this. Okay, first potion of free action down. It's a rogue druid. Interesting. Okay, well, we've got free action going. Let's go and see if we can find more paralysis enemies to fight while we have this benefit. Honestly, just cruising past a lot of these do-nothing kinds of enemies. I also have... My lunch break is ending in 6 minutes. Oh, here's another paralysis enemy. Let's go. My lunch break is ending in 6 minutes, and so I'm like... This gives me urgency. Oh, I have a call immediately at that time, so... I have some urgency to do as much as I can with these 6 minutes. I have some urgency to make the most out of this free action potion that is still in effect. As a little... I've talked about it before, but as a reminder to how this works... the free action potion negates all instances of paralysis that would be affecting you. It doesn't just like cure whatever paralysis you have. It gives you a temporary bypass to prevent you from being affected by paralysis. So like, if you had to go ahead and use the potion, you want to go out and like fight as many paralysis enemies as you can. That way you're like saving uses of the potion down the line. Look at this cool mob that we're fighting. The druid is having to fight a bunch of goblins while we are fighting the druid. It's so cool. I'm looking forward to what kind of situations the Wayward Realms presents to us that are like this. T-minus 5 minutes on my lunch break. If we can kill everything here and use the fire, that would be great. Oh no, enemies nearby. I kind of just want to crawl out of this pit that we're in. See if the lycanthrope is nearby. let's kick these guys into the pit. If I can hit them. Or we'll just kill them in one hit, which is fine too. Yep, kill them in one hit. Seems like the way to go here. And there's nothing like it. Every time I think about trying a new game, I just remember how much fun it is to play Daggerfall, and I come back to it. Yeah, I'm such a sucker for things that are already familiar to me. Like I think I would really like games like Kenshi, which require you to, it has a lot of space for simulation and my food is getting a bit ripe already. Okay, didn't cook it in time. Yeah, Kenshi has a lot of space for emergent narrative. Has like similar simulationist aspects as what Daggerfall has, and yet I can tell it's like a complex game, and so I don't even like bother to try to learn it because I would have to learn it. Excuse me. I don't know if y'all heard that little burp that snuck up on me, but I have this habit of like saying "excuse me" even when alone in a room. It's kind of weird and neurotic, honestly. But I'm quite familiar with my weird neurotic tendencies, and I've made close friends with them. They're not going anywhere. Neither am I. Let's let it be. Okay, we're down to 7 arrows, which is awesome. I mean, it's kind of bad news, but I just like having the consideration. Okay, dude, we got a map. We got a map. We got a map. We got a map. All right. Anticlere. Ruins of Hawkton Manor. Let's go. I love maps so much. Dwarven gear, that will sell. Healed true. What a great chest. This other stuff isn't really worth carrying, I think. Yeah, no, it's a whole lot of nothing in these crates here. Oh, another chest. Oh, hello. Dude, this guy burst through the secret door. I was gonna open you here in a second, bud. Okay. We've cleared out this area quite a bit. I think we're gonna go back down and rest at this campfire. And this. Okay. I wonder if it's worth burning a potion of seeking. I guess we're pretty rich, so it's not like it would hurt that much. Let's go back up topside. Yeah, let's go up here. Ooh, creepy. A door opening in the distance. I love it. Oh yeah, so last week I was telling you about how my standing desk was stuck in the standing position, and it was really upsetting me because like I spend most of my day standing anyway, like that's just more comfortable for me. Where's that secret door? Here it is. But we just can't live like that forever, right? So on Monday, I was pretty frazzled. Anyway, I started messing with it some more and found out that the little cord that connects the control panel, where you press up and down, to the motor beneath the on the underside of the desk, it's kind of like an old aux cord where it only works if it sits at just the right angle. So it turns out I can lower my desk successfully, thankfully. I just have to crawl under it, hold that cord at the port upward with great force, and then I can use the desk as normal again. Look at that. We were right near the entrance the whole time. Okay, well, this is as good a time as any to burn a potion of seeking. It's northwest and higher. What is northwest and higher? How would we get there? Okay, there's a block above us that's northwest. I mean, it's higher, that's for sure. It's not really in a northwesterly direction there. We actually have not explored much of this dungeon at all. I thought that I had covered more ground earlier, but I guess I did just kind of start stomping around in here before lunch. Okay, it looks... Oh, during lunch, I mean. It looks like we need to get to this sort of maze-like area, so we're going to go southward, right? We're going to hug the wall southward, continue southward till I go uphill, and then we'll figure it out from there. Yeah, so I figured out the standing desk issue. That was one problem solved. Still northwest. Still northwest higher. Let's go ahead and write that down again. Last night I had a pretty bad scare because it was nighttime. We were thinking about what to do with our evening, and I was like, I know. I will play some Diablo 2. That'll be fun. And it's really fun to play Diablo 2 in hardcore mode. I know I talk about how it's cool to have to fight for your life in a bunch of games, and this is just no exception. Um, so I made a new hardcore character. I do single player for this because, um, hold on, switch to my bow. I just don't trust myself to not die to latency if I do hardcore mode in an online game like Project Diablo 2 or something like that. Like, I'm just gonna die to latency, I feel like. And we are out of arrows again, so we're gonna pluck them out of the corpse. We're up to 5 now, up to 6, okay. Anyway, I was all prepared to go play Diablo 2, and then my computer wouldn't power on. Or rather, after pressing the power button, only the logo for the motherboard would show. Like, it wouldn't actually boot into Windows. Oh man, I just missed a ping because I was a little bit distracted. But anyway, it would not boot into Windows. And so it seemed to me like the fan wasn't being very loud. Oh, northwest and lower. Could we be getting close? Northwest, lower. Yeah, it seemed like all the peripherals and stuff weren't getting enough power. I guess more than just the peripherals, but that's where I noticed it in particular. And so I'm like, okay, there's something going wrong with the power supply. I'm checking connectors everywhere. I was very close to west and lower. We're in the right. Okay, west, lower. Okay. I was very close to like taking apart the case and checking the connectors on the power supply itself. Whenever I realized that I've had a USB drive stuck into my computer for about a week now, because sometimes I want to access this certain file in LibreOffice. I don't want to put it somewhere in cloud storage, but I want to move it between like my my desktop and my crappy old laptop. So I just have it on this USB drive, and I move the USB drive back and forth. If something happens to the USB drive, fine. But yeah, I remembered my basics and saw that Windows was, or my computer was probably trying to boot to this device that, in fact, does not have any installation media or any sort of like operating system on it. So lo and behold, removing that other USB device helped out. But yeah, it's cool that just remembering my fundamentals helped me get past that issue. Oh man, our potion of seeking wore off, so we're on our own here. Yeah, so that's another tech issue solved. That was fun. It looks like maybe go downhill. Down here will be lower enough, possibly. Oh, took the torch accidentally. Oh, I was wondering why my music was so quiet. I turned off the music while I was doing my audio testing. My bad. Y'all didn't get the full sinister experience just there. I'm so sorry, y'all. How do we enjoy Daggerfall properly if it's not spooky, you know? It's one of the best qualities of Daggerfall compared to the other Elder Scrolls games. These darkness that teams with, oh yeah, intimidating creatures and things like that. We're gonna use these rats as a distraction to fight this guy without getting paralyzed, hopefully. I wonder if we can loop around. Cannot. Oh, no, we cannot loop around. And just hope to not have to use a... Oh, this is another one. Yeah, here we go. Do we just tank it? Maybe like in the Waits and Reads video, that very first video on my channel, how we just tanked the paralysis. I think that's the call here. It's much less expensive to just... Hold on. Yeah, it's... Potions of healing are cheaper than potions of free action. They're in greater abundance, I'd say, so... Just went ahead and did all the tanking there. It's pretty cool that it worked out. I wonder if I could pacify those. Like, what kind of language do they speak, you know? I doubt they're streetwise. I wonder if they speak, like, the Sylvan tongue that got added by the LSO mod, Language Skills Overhaul. Okay, this is a decent enough cubby that I can set up camp here without having my back exposed at least. Let's go back and get some rat meat. We're not above it. Smelly raw meat. Oh, this is moldy raw meat. I guess we're above that since we have the option to choose something. Yeah. Okay. Let's actually collect a bit more. I know that our food always goes bad, but you know what? Let's collect enough that we can have the option to have some on the road. Oh, look, here's a chest. Okay, jammed it. Do not want to bruise my hand on that right now, so we're not going to worry about it. This is pretty cool. I like this aesthetic right here. It looks like... Oh man, I'm going to sound like such a child, but this looks like Minecraft. There are enemies nearby. There was not an enemy here nearby a second ago. I'm in danger. Oh, we got a whole squad. Yeah, let's go. Man, it's so cool to just stomp through a bunch of weak enemies once you've leveled up a lot. This is what games miss out on whenever they have such heavy level scaling. Daggerfall is one of those games, but not our version, baby. Wow, look at the level ups. Awesome. It's awesome. I love it. Feels so good. The great thing about having so many different skills in Daggerfall is you can get so many different level ups. All the serotonin and dopamine that my brain could possibly produce is being utilized right now. Okay. Let's take a step back. Let's look back at our directions here. Northwest and lower. So if we stay up here, yeah, we're going the wrong area. Backtrack. See, I don't think we've explored this way yet, but seems like we're going eastward. Although this was a... What do you have to say about it? Northwest and higher, and this descends. But do we descend in a way that it will bring us back up? Probably. Oh, hello. I don't think I have... Yeah, I have no arrows. Oh yeah, we were going to try to... He's not impressed by my streetwise. He's a rogue druid, so yeah, that's cool. I wonder what the rogue druid class would look like. I know that NPCs, if I remember correctly, they do have like a class assigned to them, so there is a rogue druid class out there, but I wonder what it would look like. They're able to cast paralysis, which I think is alteration. Could be wrong. They're also casting destruction spells. They probably speak the Sylvan tongue as well. Okay, let's compare ourselves to this. West and lower. Well, we are west and lower. We haven't gone this way. Oh, this is where I camped before. Do we just bite the economic bullet and drink another potion of seeking? It seems kind of wacky to do it for a one-off dungeon, but you know... It'll improve our reputation, and kind of sick of failing quests, whether through bugs or through bullshit or through my own blunders, like we did with the Thieves Guild quest where I forgot the cloak. Oh, here we are. Well, kind of a waste, but whatever. All right, Lycanthrope is dead. It's cool that he's over here over a corpse. That's pretty evocative from a flavor perspective. Now we just have to find our way out. I have kind of a breadcrumb trail leading back. Yeah, if I can get back to this chamber, then I'll be set. Getting back to this chamber involves going through this hallway. Going through this hallway involves getting back to this point. You know, it would be a lot easier if it weren't this particular block where I have to, like, get back from. It's at this point where I'm at a crossroads. Do I make you endure this, or do I edit it out? I think I make you endure it, because I hate editing. And I can find stuff to talk about. Okay, we backtrack, we go back here, we wind around. Let's go here. Okay, yep. All well and good. Okay, so on the topic of finding something to talk about, I think I have this habit built up in me where I have like 1,000 projects that I constantly want to work on, and I rarely find the motivation to act on many of them. Let's say, for example, I talked previously about wanting to do some solo RPG adventures, and I have a pretty cool, unique setting that I want my solo RPGs to take place in, and the simple act of building out the encounter tables that I want for this setting, for this RPG, it's like so all-encompassing of my my time with this solo RPG hobby that I don't know that it'll ever actually happen. You know, it's like I've almost, I wouldn't say intentionally placed in front of me a bunch of roadblocks to prevent me from doing it, but it's like the tasks that I want to complete to do the thing, to fulfill the project, to do the hobby. The tasks are so monumental that it prevents me from doing the hobby. It's wondering, like, it's making me wonder if my subconscious self doesn't really care to do the hobby, because at a time where I could play solo RPGs, that's like a time whenever I could be recording Daggerfall, you know, or that's like the general principle. So maybe there's a part of me that actually doesn't want to play the solo RPG, and that's like why I create so many obstacles for myself. At the same time, I get great satisfaction once I actually do the solo RPG. But this is like something that happens all the time. It's like I have a project that I want to work on. This project has like a lot of setup requirement, and so I end up not doing the project whatsoever. It's kind of disappointing, but it's just yeah, I wonder if that's my subconscious telling me like, hey, you don't actually prioritize this as highly as you think that you do. By the way, I know I said that this was going to be like a travelogue episode, but I'm not feeling the journey back. We did the journey. That's all well and good. I'm not necessarily feeling the journey back. So we're just going to, I think we got it from this town, Oxford. We should make sure. Let's see. Oxford. Yep, let's go. Sorry, just checking on something in my recording setup. We're good. All right, yeah, we're just gonna fast travel to Oxford. We got out of there. Oh, you know what? Potion of Cure Disease. Oh, you know, I decided this a long time ago. Let me get my dice. Okay. Someone in the comment section was talking about how cool it would be if Bogard were a werewolf. And so, or like a lycanthrope of any sort. I kind of agree, and yet, so here's this relationship between me and Bogard. I understand the danger of having a disease and how it could kill me. So I, the player, am smart enough to know how to prepare for this. And I have a routine of like, okay, I just fought a bunch of animals or a lycanthrope or a vampire. Let's just go ahead and down a potion of cure disease just in case. Does Bogard, like, is he intelligent enough to have that instinct built into him? We're rolling a die to determine that. So I'm going to roll a d6. It's off camera because I don't feel like using an app. We're going to give him a 50-50 chance to remember. So if it's an odd number, let's say odds are I remember to take the potion. Yeah, I landed on a 6, so I'm not going to take a potion. Okay. It'll tell us if we have a disease, I guess, whenever we go to travel, though, right? I'm not sure if that's foolproof. Let's go ahead and travel by inns. I guess we're fine. My food is getting a bit ripe. Dude, I cook all this food and then I don't eat it. I guess it's just rat meat, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty bad about using, like, my own desire for preparation for, like, Dungeons and Dragons or any sort of tabletop RPG. I use my fixation on preparation as almost an excuse to not participate in the hobby at all. But because my availability is so limited for like playing with a group, I feel like solo RPGs are kind of my only option. It would be great if I had... Oh no, it's nighttime. That's a bummer. It would be great if I had the option to just like play with some homies like I could do back in college. But you know, man, it's hard enough to make friends in your like nearby vicinity whenever you're working remotely, you're far from your precious rock climbing gym. There just aren't many third places where you can go spend your time. So like most of my IRL friends are just scattered all across the country. I'm usually pretty good about making friends wherever I go, but in my current town, that my wife and I have lived here for like, I don't know, 6 months maybe. I just haven't had that breakthrough with anybody. Because I don't go out anywhere. I don't have an interest in going out anywhere here. So if I had like a group of people around me to play with, that would be a different thing. But that's not going to be my situation for a long time, I think. What's the time? Let's see, we're gonna rest for, I think it's gonna be like 16 hours. Seems like overkill, but Fighters Guild is gonna be closed for a long time anyway. And I know I could like go to like LFG, LFG, looking for group, the subreddit or something like that, and start asking around for people in my area. I'm sure that there are local game shops I could go to, but tabletop RPGs are at their most magical whenever you have an existing group of nerdy friends and you propose the idea, hey, let's do this thing together. And you're already used to hanging out, you already have chemistry with the group, and then you tack the hobby onto it. I don't find it quite as fun or rewarding to start with the tabletop RPG, and like, I don't know, the group chemistry being there in the beginning is pretty important for me. Got some archery training here, by the way. So let's see, affiliations. Not quite ready for an increase in rank yet, but let's go ahead and get a move on. Yeah, so I would be a bit more motivated to complete the preparation side of things if I had that kind of relationship with people around me. But I don't have that relationship, and even if I did, like, I have a hard time even finding time to spend alone with my computer for this recording. So like, how often would I be able to find time to spend like hours playing tabletop RPG? You know, it's just, I guess times have changed for me, and I'm just at that stage where this isn't like really a priority for me. Oh, you're wondering what sort of preparation I'm wanting to do that takes so much time? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm a bit dissatisfied with the typical encounter table that you have in tabletop RPGs. And so, for those who aren't familiar, you simulate what kind of monster you're going to run into in an area by rolling on an encounter table. Like, let's say, once in every other dungeon turn, or 1 in 3 dungeon turns, depending on how hostile the territory is, you'll have to roll to see if a wandering monster pops up. Yeah, so these wandering monster rolls, they help you to kind of give some variety to the different factions that are living in this dungeon, and it fights the quantum ogre problem that you know, you might have pre-planned encounters and things like that. This is a way of providing encounters that is immersive and also does not lead to any quantum ogre shenanigans. But I've grown a bit bored with the default of like having just like 8 options of wandering monsters, or maybe 10 if you want to roll a d10 or something like that. And so to mitigate this, I'm thinking of dynamic wandering monsters, or dynamic encounters is what I'm calling it right now. And the idea is you'll roll like a d10, and then instead of having just 10 options, you'll have like several options of maybe animals 1 or mammals 1, and then you go roll on the table of mammals or animals that has just like 4 options. Or for this particular setting, there are a lot of gangs, and so there's going to be different tables for the different gangs that, maybe there are different gangs that are in the like closer to the surface, and then different gangs that are in the sewers, different gangs that hang out by the canals and things like that. And those groups aren't mutually exclusive, but there are some parties that are found like deep in the sewers that would not be found on the surface. And so creating the dynamic tables allows us to have this kind of modularity about how we're representing different factions. It gives us a ton of options for how the probability is going to work, because you can just have like animals 1 as a table of options like 1 through 7, and then some NPC options for the rest of it. And instead of creating those dynamic encounters for just the part of game that I'm likely to play for the first couple of sessions. I'm just getting ahead of the curve and like making a ton of them. It's like overkill. Oh, what is this? Is this a shrine? Yeah, so this is just one in many ways where the act of preparation preparing for a hobby prevents the hobby from occurring in a way. It's kind of weird because I don't honestly spend a ton of time working on that thing. Man, I really prefer doing things with pencil and paper. And so, yeah, I'm doing this on a USB drive that has a spreadsheet, and it's fine and all of that, but I just don't want to work on a spreadsheet, man. I want to work on pencil and paper. But the trap I've fallen into by doing this all for myself in pencil and paper before is like I have all this content that I could share with people, but because like the presentation is not strong and my cursive, whenever I'm the only audience, is a bit illegible. It makes it a bit difficult to market or to like even offer to people, marketing aside. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the right call is. Maybe I just keep doing what I want by like having it done on paper. But it feels kind of bad whenever I can't really, like, I feel like I can't share it well. Okay, let me get my bearings straight here. Failed to avoid an encounter. This is a wraith. I don't really have any arrows. I don't want to fight a wraith. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in the phase of my life where I care about tabletop RPGs as much as I used to, but that answer doesn't quite satisfy me either. Oh, look at this. We have a campsite that we can overtake. Because really, like, I don't even like a ton of video games these days. I played Daggerfall Unity. That's like it, man. I played Magic the Gathering. That's just it, man. It's not a video game, but it is a game. It is a way to spend my free time. Wow, look at all these bodies. Okay, goodbye. I pacified one of them. This should be a good haul of arrows if we're able to punch through enough of them. We got a couple of people on our side now. Hoping I'm punching the right person. It doesn't really matter now. Oh, okay. Our buddies left. Good, 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 good. Arrows. Let's go. I'm saying that hoping to find arrows. We did not, in fact, find any arrows. We did find some jewelry. Another map? All right. Location of Victolda Cultus. What is that? That sounds sinister. I like sinister stuff. Because it's a new like session, we're gotta open up our handy dandy document again. Let's see. Anticlere. Victolda Cultus. Okay. Oh, there's one arrow. We're making it, boys. We're making it. Heap of gold. Doesn't hurt. Wait, this guy's not pacified, but he's not attacking me. Weird. Oh, steel briganding gloves. Those are worse than what we have, but we just upgraded. Let's keep these for a bit longer. This is an interesting campsite. Let's duck under and get this little loot. Loot? I don't know. Why can't I touch this loot? Whatever. I ain't worried about it, man. I ain't worried about it if you ain't worried about it. You know what I mean, man? Let's go ahead and rest. We want it to be daytime, so let's just rest for like 10 hours or something. There we go. This is a pretty good campsite here. Oh man, I have caused a deer to panic and run. I am so sorry, buddy. It's a casual bloodbath caused by my bare fists while traveling along the road. Just Bogart doing Bogart stuff. Yeah, I also procrastinate by wanting my maps and dungeons to be perfect instead of using pre-made stuff. Now, the pre-made stuff, a lot of it is fantastic. I've learned. And yet it doesn't scratch the itch to create. And yet whenever I tell myself to go and create, I get distracted by the more things that are more have more instant gratification wrapped up in them is what I'm trying to get at. Such as playing this here video game. And since I have a YouTube channel, like, that's not terrible these days. It's still not very great, though. Maybe this is just, yeah, I'm just a parent now. That's all there is. Have very minimal free time. I'm a parent of a toddler, specifically. Oh, dude, just this random foes paralyzing me. I think she's called a witch hunter or something like that. Let's see. Witch defender, sorry. She's doing the opposite of hunting witches. It's cool that we have so much health that we don't always have to worry about, you know, burning a potion of free action whenever we get paralyzed. That is very convenient for us. Yeah, I think my tendency to prepare and use that perhaps as a way to procrastinate is not that bad. Another thing that you could look at is whenever I was writing my, not the sloppy manuscript, but the one that was more streamlined and planned out, all the preparation that I did there actually paid off. So maybe I'm onto something, and I tend to conjure problems about myself that don't exist. Like, who cares if I don't have this done by tomorrow? I have so much going for me in my life that I really need to focus on not sweating such small, trivial things. Alright, so this guy's on the lookout for bears. I'll keep that in mind. Oh, hello. Hey, this is a... Yeah, let's be buddies right now. Come on, bud. Yeah, take it off my hands. I don't want your money for that, buddy. I didn't do much. This is a... I don't know, this probably doesn't make for very good content, but this is just my preferred way of playing Daggerfall. It's kind of like a travel simulator where you happen to kill stuff on the way. I mean, I do love dungeons. I love dungeons a lot. But I think... Well, a lot of people approach Daggerfall after playing a lot of other Elder Scrolls games. They're like, okay, let's do the main quest, let's finish Daggerfall. And that's like the... That's one of the funniest jokes I've heard, is I finished Daggerfall. No, you are never going to finish this game. Maybe you're done with it, but you're not finished with it. Come on, man. This is like, there's so much that you can do, so much that you can see. And I honestly, as someone who has played this game like relentlessly, I have barely scratched the surface of the possibilities found here, because I have a certain play style. You know, I make thieves, I make fighters, I make some people that maybe splash a couple schools of magic, but like, I'm not usually interested in finding witch covens or summoning Daedra and things like that. And yeah, for that reason, like, I just barely scratched the surface of the game. So like, how do you finish Daggerfall? This is why I think that completionists tend to get frustrated with Elder Scrolls games. We gonna get there in time? Yeah, okay. I was worried we would not have enough stamina to get to this village or the city. Yeah, if you're playing this game from the perspective of a completionist, where we really just need to grind the main quest out, this is why you're having a bad time. This mentality of like, I need to finish this game. This, if you're having a bad time while playing Daggerfall, well, there you go. Here's the culprit. You gotta quit playing the game to finish it and continue playing the game to play the damn game. You know, it's like, I used to have this urgency whenever I read books, like, okay, I need to finish this book so I can read the next book. But are you even really enjoying what you're doing whenever you're acting like that? And if so, then why are you doing it? I might have talked about this situation before, but this one person was running into a bunch of hilarious Morrowind issues, and like I shared a Discord server with them. So I was watching them struggle with Morrowind, and they wanted to complete Morrowind so badly whenever it was really a game that they did not enjoy. Like, they hate Morrowind, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, man, you have such precious few days on this earth and you're playing a game you don't like? That is so embarrassing. I feel bad for them, but maybe they, on the other hand, they want to participate in like a cultural phenomenon and they share a fandom with it. So like, well, let's see it through. But to just like do something that you don't like strictly to have said that you've done the thing that you don't like, it seems like such a waste of our, it just seems like such a waste. We are remarkably pretty low on resources here, so we're gonna go ahead and try to pick up some arrows, maybe swing by the Thieves Guild and pay attention to what's happening with our quests. Because I really would like to advance in the Thieves Guild without that little whatever happened before happening. So instead of taking on 2 quests at a time, we'll just take on the one, and we'll trust that the issue does not happen again. Hey buddy, yeah, I'm just here to get some arrows. Do you have any arrows on you? 8? Yeah, that's more than 0. Thank you, bud. Put this shelf here. Nope. Alright. Lastly, 11. We are back in business. We also have this dwarven gear to get rid of. This will fetch us a... Oh, not the arrows. Pretty good amount. Okay, we have an annoying amount of gold. It's officially heavy now, but... maybe we can use this to get some training. Oh, let's go ahead and stop here and get some more arrows. But yeah, the more focused you are on the like end goal of something, whether it's completing a video game or completing a book, or completing your I meant reading a book or writing a book, I guess. Both those apply. The more focused you are on the end goal, the more the process, all it takes to receive that end goal or reach the end goal, it's going to feel like a slog. And so rewiring your brain to be more welcoming of the middle part it's been very foundational for me as someone who likes to write, who likes to develop RPGs. You know, I like all these things, and if I get frustrated because I'm like rushing headlong toward the ending, then maybe I just don't like it as much as I think I do. So more of the story, don't force yourself to play video games you don't like. Don't force yourself to read books you don't like. There's, of course, it's so tricky though, because some books you want to read because you want to know what's in them. You may not be like a page turner necessarily, but you want to read and focus on it. I think this day and age, though, it's just so easy to focus on. It's so easy to focus on the things that are conducive to our short attention spans, like video games, YouTube, or scrolling through social media. That those things that are more rewarding are just out of reach. Like, it's so hard for me to will myself to do it unless I just cultivate the right environment for me to be successful in those tasks. Okay. Thieves Guild quest coming up. Got a guild job for you if you're interested. Name is Albane Hawkhouse. Some guy wants this scarab lifted from the benevolence of Mara. Man, I'm robbing another temple. Whatever. Okay, here's the skinny, the benevolence of Mara, and silent altar of Mara. Take the scarab back to me. Got 9 days. Okay, silent. I forgot it already. Silent something of Mara. 9 days. Let's check our quest log. Yep, it's Silent Altar of Mara. It's still listed there. Hey man, got some training for me? Let's see what we got. Critical Strike would be nice. Lockpicking would be good. Dodging is really good, actually. Thanks, bud. Alright. We're just about out of stamina, so we're not going to be able to head out. Oh, the city gates are closed anyway. Let's go ahead and book a room at a tavern. And then we'll head to this, what's it called? Silent Altar. Oh, it's just, oh man, this is, I was about to say it's conveniently close to the next region. But we, of course, will need to return with, to get, to finish the quest, so. Not quite as convenient as I was expecting or hoping for there, but this is whenever we need to draw the line sometimes. Like, how much do I want to do overland travel nonstop and just talk to you, my dear viewer? And how much do I want to progress the game? Right now I'm getting to a stopping point because I need to go pick up Hudson, so I guess I will contend with that here in a bit. Let's go ahead and rest up. Oh, we need to rest until daytime, duh. Give it about 6 more hours. Make sure that we have a full stomach before leaving. Hey, we haven't leveled up in this episode yet. What gives? What's going on, man? We've been training, we've been fighting.
Man, I gotta tell y'all, I'm like really excited about the Anticlere arc. First off, the place we slept in last night is called the Tipsy Mustache. And that's just, I don't know, that's something hilarious about that. I wonder if that's like the base game or if some mod I have generated these kinds of adjectives and nouns to work together like that. But that's hilarious. I feel kind of targeted by that. Uh, anyway, yeah. So let's see. We're heading toward the Silent Altar of Mara, and I was looking at those dungeons from the maps that we found in our other dungeon, and just take a look at this. All right, let's go take a look again. Is it what Silent Altar of Mara? Yeah, it's up here in the northwest area. All right, so one of our dungeons is Ruins of Hawkton Manor. Oop, wrong manor there. Look, it's on the way. One of the dungeons is on the way to the destination. But what is this? Victolda cultist. Let's go take a look. Look at that. It's all the way. It's even further westward. But it's still in that general area. You know, you can plan a little triangle maneuver to hit all these points of interest before looping back to where are we? Kirkhope. Yeah, man, I'm loving the way this lined up. To top it all off, we need to be back in like 8 days, and so I don't know, what can we do with this time? We're gonna see how much of these dungeons we can explore. We're gonna see how intimidating they are and things like that. But yeah, I want to weep tears of joy because of the way the way that lined up. So yeah, first stop is going to be Ruins of Hawkton Manor. Let's see if there's... I think I should just keep traveling the roads for a while. I think it's pretty fun. Okay, it's no secret that I love travel options and the basic roads combination. Like, this part of Daggerfall Unity has just become an integral part of the Daggerfall experience, which is so weird because nothing was quite like it as far as what I recall in the original game, but it's so pivotal and awesome now. But yeah, if you stray from the path and true, like you go the straight and narrow, the quickest way toward your destination, taking the hypotenuse, so to speak, instead of legs A and B of the triangle, you're missing out on all the services that you're passing up. And so if you need something identified, or in this case, like I think it's summer right now, first seed, like I probably don't need this fur armor anymore. More importantly, though, you're going to be stopping by taverns and such on the way, where you can get a bite to eat and refill your water skins. Yeah, it's just a... What's interesting, though, is if you're an outlaw, you will you'll avoid this like benefit, and you know you're encouraged to take the hypotenuse. And so I think it's just a really interesting concept, that or decisions that are imposed on the character whenever you're doing this. Look at that. We found an ebony light flail. I was just thinking about how cool it would be if we just focused on having a monetary 14 arrows, by the way. Hell yeah. Having a couple monetary goals to strive toward, because evidently I don't have enough of those in real life. We already fulfilled like the first step of one of them, these dwarven gauntlets, but that's just the first step, you know. Let's go take a look at what kind of chain do you have? You can give me ebony chain stuff. And that would cost 23. Let's round up to 24,000 gold. What about the plate? Okay, let's go to gauntlets, plate. Ebony plate is same price. Which one would he want more? Mail, which is like, I think it's a roleplay realism items category. It's kind of like medium armor, but for Daggerfall. I really liked the way those mail gauntlets we had in the past, like the way they looked. But I imagine these like gauntlets are simply like better at giving armor protection, and this is a really important spot for us to have extra protection. But yeah, we're at like 4,000 gold. Oh yeah, okay. We have a little bit of stuff to turn in. I'm wondering though, like we need to get rich off of these dungeons, or we need to... you know, dabble in our scoundrel. We need to be a scoundrel again. We need to go kicking doors down of pawn shops and getting back to what we got back to. And, you know, we'll get to 24,000 in no time if we just have a good old robbing spree. And, oh, man, I noticed one of our destinations, Victolda Cultus, is out here near the border of Shalgora, so we can, if time permits, we can go out to Victolda Cultus and then swing by these little border towns. Let's go to Shalgora. Swing by these border towns, Harwood Borough and Tunborn in Shalgora. You know, kick down some doors, get what we can, and then get out of here back to Anticlere, where we might be more accepted. Um, now that I mention it, though, I feel like I've done this with previous scoundrels, and while normally your criminal reputation, as far as I recall, is tracked between regions, and so you do the crime close to the border, and then you escape back to this previous region, and so you're kind of home free as long as you're able to get away from those towns. But lately, I feel like almost there's a radius effect where I'll be tracked as like a criminal in Anticlere for a crime committed near it in Shalgora's border. I'm not sure, like, anybody else out there have that kind of experience, or am I just imagining it or misunderstanding the way this works? Anyway, regardless of what the game's mechanics say, that's the thing to do right now. Because I've been missing that, like, you know, this catharsis of my scoundrelly impulses. I guess this would be a good time to cut across, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've eaten recently, so we're just gonna scoot across to the next town. I wonder what kind of outfits we can buy to match the gauntlets that we have as well. As we haven't, he's a pugilist, and I can make him seem kind of like a boxer if I like getting ready in a ring or something like that if we want to. Right now, maybe, yeah, we don't really need the cloak or shirt, I think, given the weather. Let's unequip the bow for funsies. And my stomach was rumbling, but looks like we don't have any food on us. That just means our stamina will be a little bit, it'll get hit more by our movements since we're not invigorated by a meal. Oh man, the cold air numbs our bare skin. No kidding. It's a cool and sunny spring day. Really wants me to put a shirt on. Alright, let's just go back to the cloak. Shirtless and cloak, you know, classic. Okay, we have a bit of a selection here. Alright, we need food if nothing else. I do kind of want to do some shopping, like for clothes and such, but I don't think now's the time. So we're just going to keep on moseying on. Okay, we should be getting there pretty shortly. Camp out. Yep, let's go. We're gonna see if we can't get there before falling through the map. There being our first dungeon, by the way. Let's spot now. Okay, I don't think we want to go on a hunt right now. Cross paths with some soldiers. Great. Actually, let's take a look at what kind of food we have on us. Any at all? Okay. Well, keeping an eye out for food in the dungeon will be helpful, but... Oh, we should go ahead and re-equip an arrow, or a bow, rather. Just in case that's helpful. Okay. It's really dark outside and really bright in this room, and so I feel like I'm going to struggle to find the dungeon if it's nighttime in the game. So let's go ahead and just rest up. I don't know if any of you have dealt with this before, but sometimes it's just incredibly taxing to find the right place to enter a dungeon. Oh man, it's actually still a little bit early. Oh, whoops. Pack up. Loiter for a couple of hours. Ah, you need more rest. Get out of here. I think Cliffworm's mod that makes the, I
forgot the name of it, but it makes the exterior dungeons match the dungeon type. I think this helps out a bit, but with a structure like this, you see the scattered towers and like the broken stone everywhere. You're liable if you don't know what you're doing, which includes me often. Just kind of mosey around all of these if it's nighttime, not finding the actual. Oh, I guess if you play with ambient, like more ambient nighttime light, then it's not so difficult. But with just a lantern, it's pretty rough. All right, we found our next Anticlere dungeon. Let's see what it's got for us. It sounds like more rats, which I guess is fine. As long as we're getting decent loot, I don't mind punching through some weaker mobs. I think we'll definitely have how is that a successful backstab? We'll definitely be fighting a tougher set of enemies once we get to Castle Llugwich. So, oh, I picked up moldy meat. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, so I'm recording this around America's birthday, and so I have the day off. This means recording in the daytime whenever the sun's like out in the east, shining through these windows that face eastward, and so it creates a pretty significant glare. But what's a guy to do besides keep playing Daggerfall? You know, I can't just take some time off from this. We gotta get back at it. We gotta get back in there. And this is one of those fantastic dungeons that does not have an objective, so we get to just hang out here for as long or as little as we want. I think we're pretty close, but I'm just gonna go ahead and mark entrance. Ooh, didn't mean to be in caps there. Entrance to the east. I don't really have a very good habit of leaving that kind of breadcrumb trail on the map because I feel like I can usually get back pretty well. But I don't know, sometimes it's helpful. I definitely advocate it for in a couple of videos for new players, so maybe I try it. But there's actually not very, it seems like there are not many enemies or loot here. Oh, spoke too soon. Okay. I was debating, like, is it too cowardly just to zap this guy with our, to shoot with our arrow while his back was turned, but he made the decision for us, turned around and caught us. It looks like there's another mage behind him. That's a druid, actually. And what is this guy? I don't know, but I'm confident that he could paralyze me if I gave him a chance. This might be another rogue druid. I just don't want to have to use a rogue druid. Previously, I was kind of musing about what this rogue druid's class was like. It's actually pretty relevant since a character's or even an NPC's class determines what spell they get. And I remember that there was a mod I was contemplating trying out, which would edit the default classes to make them all a bit more viable. And I ended up not really liking it for numerous reasons. Mostly, like, I don't really care about viability, so it's kind of a personal preference thing. But the fact that they changed the NPC's spell list made dungeons a little bit different. Like, I think Nightblades ended up having higher, like, illusion and perhaps no destruction at all. And I'm like, okay, so Nightblades aren't going to nuke me, then, like, what kind of threat can they possibly pose? And so, you know, I didn't like the way that some enemies became significantly easier to deal with that mod. And I mean, I normally use custom classes anyway whenever I'm making a character, but it's also fun once in a while just to take a default class for a spin and see how far you get, that sort of thing. What immediately came to mind is the fact that the acrobat class and things like this, they would have short blade as a major or like the primary skill so that you could hit stuff with the weapons, and that's totally reasonable. It's just not for me. You know, I want the acrobat to be stealthy, to jump high and climb well. Everything else will sort itself out, and part of this is like I use language skills overhaul and things like that, so it's actually not that hard to. Okay, well, Kirstia did find it pretty difficult, but with many characters you can get by just by, you know, having enough potions, having some wits about you, and some language skills. I'm really liking Bogard, but there's always that hunger to try another character, and like kind of a long time ago, it feels like I made a poll about what kind of character we would play if Bogard were to bite the dust, just to have your input in case push comes to shove like that. And the results are in. We had 3 options between the traditional Dungeons and Dragons alignments: lawful, neutral, and chaotic. And we went for the chaotic route, it seems like. Let's go ahead and get a little bit of rest here. Oh, dude, there's our level up. Finally. Okie dokie. Speed, endurance, strength, and another speed. Why the heck not? Yeah, our HP pool is massive. It's like 250 at this point, and this makes me think that like we probably don't even need that much grinding anymore. Like we are just so durable that I could just be wrong. All right, let's keep that in mind. I could just blatantly be wrong. We could be well within range of getting killed by a couple of Lich's spells, but the fact that I built this character to have a high HP pool makes him seem really viable to me right now. Famous last words, right? I'm going to make some sort of misplay, or I'm not going to bring the right potions, and I'll die to some sort of blunder like that rather than combat. Or, I know that there's like, I want to say there's one ancient lich that you have to fight in the final dungeon. And this ancient lich is came very close to ending my bandits character's Ironman run whenever I got to the final dungeon, and so that character is built in a very similar way. Although I think I've done less meandering with the bandit than I have with this guy. Oh, I've been unparalyzed and just letting him zap me some more. All right, druid's down. But yeah, we have a quest that's going to send us to Sentinel that I was kind of, you know, if we accept the quest from the King of Worms, we'll be sent to Sentinel. And that dungeon ends with a pretty tough enemy, but I think we're good. Like, I'm pretty sure we can take it on, so ideally we cruise up to Ykalon, and, you know, since we have so much time, we can... Oh, look, something is lit here. Does that mean there's... Have I been here, or is this a druid? Yeah, we go to Castle Llugwich and then go directly to Manamarco next to get that main quest. Maybe not directly, because we're going to Ykalon and all that, but I'm planning on making these separate arcs, so to speak, for each of these regions as we pass through them. Oh, look, our little marker leading us back to the entrance actually paid off. Because I'm just not sure, I'm not convinced right now that this dungeon is really worth spelunking in. We have fought a couple of enemies, you know, but I'm looking for something where I can get rich, and I'm looking for something where I can fight tough enemies, and I'm not sure if this is going to deliver. Maybe we can try going down a different path. More rats. Yeah, these... Oh, hold on. Silver Brigandine gloves. They look good, but yeah, they're significantly worse than my current gloves. Okay, yeah, I think this dungeon's a bit of a bust, to be honest. It's better than those dungeons that we found where some Daedra just scared us off immediately. Maybe we could go toe-to-toe with those creatures now. We'll see. And yeah, we have a high HP pool, but with the... what's it called? Meaner Monsters mod? I think those things are just going to be hard to hit in general. That's why I've been prioritizing training for archery and things like that. It's like, yeah, I can survive their attacks, but if I can't kill them, that... Well, many times just getting past the enemy is enough in Daggerfall, but still, I'd like to have the option. Let me pull up my document one more time. Just going to make a note that... Yeah, which one was this? Ruins of Hawkton Manor. Yeah, this is kind of the same dungeon type as the Fortress of Rodard in Anticlere, which we've already explored. Next, let's see. We're going to one of these, right? Burning Tree of Mara. I think it has altar. Silent Altar of Mara. Yeah, let's go ahead. Hold up. We need to quick save. I did not trust it for a second. All right. Silent Altar. Now, the last time that we did a Thieves Guild job that involved breaking into a temple like this, I made some pretty bad blunders that led to some criminal persecution. We still finished the quest, which was fine. By the way, I mentioned, cluster of will-o'-the-wisps. That sounds scary. I really don't know what these things are capable of, and that makes me not want to fight them ever. So, get used to that. Just so terrified because of how they were in Oblivion. But yeah, I was worried about, I mentioned before, going to this border and doing some shenanigans there. That might still happen, but I noticed that we're already undependable in Anticlere because we trampled somebody with our horse. And so protecting our reputation here is not necessarily super important. Oh, hold up. You see a legion of guards at the Buckingsley farmstead. What could they be here for? Soon you realize for exactly what reason. In the distance, you see the smoke. It looks like there's a campfire. Bandits have the place surrounded. A battle will soon take place here. This could be neat, right? We don't have much of a reason to not slow down. Join the battle, yep. You play no part on either side currently. If you wish to join the skirmish, you must choose a side to be on. So what will it be? Do you join the bandits on the raid or the guards in the defense? You know, I've mentioned before that I don't think that Bogard is necessarily evil. But I think this choice is going to push the envelope some. We have a reputation to uphold with the Thieves Guild and and basically the underworld at large. So we're going to join the side of the bandits, even though that does seem like the objectively evil thing to do, because we are a scoundrel at the end of the day. You greet the bandits. After a quick talk, they accept you among their ranks for this assault. The horn soon sounds, and the raid of Buckingsley Farmstead begins. Quick side note, I would love it if there was like a bandit faction that you could join. I think there are a lot of factions that we could make for Daggerfall that would be fantastic. This one has always stood out to me. As, you could have like a knightly order, but kind of as a regional bandit tribe or whatever you want to call it in each region instead of the knightly orders in certain regions. The difficulty is bandits live in the wilderness typically, but guild houses are all in a city. And I believe, with my very limited knowledge, that it would be hard to work around that limitation. And I also, while I have interest in mods and writing quests, I've never dedicated the time necessary to it. So I don't think it's going to be me. I'm just throwing that out there. It could just be a pipe dream. But we're pretty low on stamina, which is one reason why I was hesitating to join this. So we're going to drink a couple potions of stamina. Let's go ahead and use some bandages. I think I have a few. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should get me up there. And we're going to actually unequip... Okay, we'll start fighting like this. But I was thinking we could unequip our bow for a second. It's kind of hard to tell. Are you the knight or are you the rogue? Let's go to information mode. This is a rogue. It's a warrior. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell who my friendlies are here. Yeah, but since in the past, whenever we had this opportunity, we were a bit weaker. I didn't want to participate in this kind of event, but I figure we're tough enough now. All right. Even if it's just me and a bunch of guards, I feel pretty good about our ability here. We have so many healed true potions, it's kind of excessive. What Healed True does not protect you against is a one-shot kill. I don't think guards are capable of that, but even having a ton of healing potions doesn't guarantee that you're safe necessarily. Alright, this doesn't feel good. We are Bogard. We're gonna have to get off our horse and, you know, crack some skulls the old-fashioned way. Get out of here. You don't want to be here whenever what goes down, goes down. They call for reinforcements. That's all right. Bring them on. Gonna bob and weave some. Thief just died. That's all right by me. Bandits have called for reinforcements. So the warriors called for reinforcements first. That has to be good, right? This guy's been like trying to pick a fight with me for a good minute. Come on. All right, here's to hoping I'm facing the right mob. I like these excursions because they look like, I don't know, this isn't an experience that the Elder Scrolls often provides for you. It's pretty cool. This kind of mass combat, it tends to get butchered. Sometimes, like in Skyrim, whenever you're doing the Civil War quest, you'll have big battles. Oblivion also tries that, like in the Siege of Bruma, but I don't think it comes off very well most of the time. The engine just has trouble supporting a bunch of NPCs, whereas here, I feel like that could still be true for old computers and all that, but these are just little sprites with some inventories. It's not a big deal. There's no physics to calculate for them. They're just sprites that are moving. This reminds me of doing this with Wayzen Reeds, who has a very similar build of hand-to-hand and archery. And I specifically made that character to feel like I was playing Doom once like the speed got to 100. Oh, rogue reinforcements depleted. We have kind of a big mob here. Warriors called for reinforcements. It's still going on. As the battle raged on, it proved too much for your allies. You soon grow to be outnumbered. Soon it will only be you who stands. To stay now is to have a death wish. Okay. All right. Yep, play the hype music. Do we start using our bow here? Yeah, this is starting to feel like Mountain Blade whenever your whole army has been wiped out, but you don't want to give up yet. Aw, man. Couldn't get to my horse in time. Alright. Oh, that was misclicking. I was in info mode instead of one of the buttons that would let me mount it. Yeah, that was scary. Man, I can't believe we got wiped out like that. I'm gonna blame it on how I can't see my screen very well because of the glare. This is the classic, the sun was in my eye maneuver here. I am completely absolved of, you know, any guilt on my end. I wonder if this is worth sticking around for. We're gonna run out of arrows, you know. We had like 40, which I thought was gonna be too many. Maybe we just focus on this mob right here and just take it one mob at a time. Tricky part is getting pelted with arrows still. Oh, I feel somewhat bad. Cure poison. Potion of healing. Yeah, I just have enough resources that I should be able to burn them out. Yeah, they're just sitting ducks, aren't they? Another question, do I have a good reason to stick around and fight all these dudes? Maybe it's like gotten a bit personal. Maybe you just want to feel the badassery of taking down a whole platoon. But if our reason for joining this conflict was reputation and having a reputation to uphold, and all of our people that we would be reputing with are dead, well, I guess I don't want to look like a coward in the eyes of the law. But look at all those bodies, dang. Okay, what if we just like switch to our fists and do drive-bys? I think it could work. We have to keep an eye on our stamina and health bars, but they are dropping pretty gradually. Yep, alright. Let's go healing. Let's go stamina. Let's go charge. Oh, it looks like that's kind of neat. The AI was holding back, I think because I hadn't walked in their range yet. But from a perspective of, again, feeling like Mountain Blade, this was like a party that hang back, like a group of archers that hung back, while the infantry and mounted cavalry charged into the fray. That's pretty cool. Okay, we're gonna just stop running away. We're gonna use Heal True. One more potion of stamina. And that'll basically be what decides it. How many potions of stamina do I have left? Okay, 3 potions of stamina. I'm not sure if I want to burn more of those So I don't think health will be an issue because like I don't know if we've used many potions on a percentage level. We still have plenty of those left, but I don't want to be without stamina potions. I don't even want to be low on stamina potions because I don't really want to go shopping for potions yet. This is all going through Bogart's mind as he grabs one soldier and tosses him into the next, and they fall like dominoes before him. He's gonna rip the helmets off their craniums and start smiting them down with their own armor. Okay, let's go ahead and use another heal true. What do you think our horse thinks of us? You know, sometimes beasts and pets, they have a respectful fear for their master. What do you think our horse is thinking as we single-handedly take down the mob? What's tough here is I don't think that there are going to be bodies to loot, even. So that's a bit unfortunate. We're not going to get those arrows back. Granted, we had more than I'm usually comfortable with anyway. Our bars are looking okay. Yeah, let's teach you to mess with Bogard. Yeah, the guards aren't going to mess with me after this. I'll be the king of Anticlere. Alright, this is the last one. Alrighty. Is that all you've got? Come on! Do I get anything for this? I know we walked away from the farmstead that was being raided. Does that interfere with... Are we getting any... can't travel... Oh, hello. Oh, it's a straggler. She should have fled whenever she could. I really couldn't see my health bar very well right there, and I didn't want to die on a technicality like that. Alright, come on. That has to be all of them. Yeah, I can get to my heal menu. Alright, well, I was hoping to get a big pile of gold like we had whenever this mod was not working correctly, and I was given a bunch of gold for basically no good reason. I was hoping to get a big pile of gold here as well. But I guess since all the bandits were defeated, wouldn't really play out like that, huh? All the bodies were gone, so I didn't have anything to loot. How many arrows are we down? Okay, 28 arrows after all that. That's pretty good. All right, well, that was a nice little pit stop to have on the way to our true objective, and looks like we're getting very close to the temple while it's nighttime, so that's good on a flavor level. Silent Altar of Mara, here we go. All right, so we've made it to the town. Let's go ahead and light up our lantern again. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Benevolence of Mara. Yep, okay. So it'd be embarrassing to go rob something from the town whenever I'm supposed to go to like a residence. Okay, here we go. I guess we can make an effort to blend in a bit better. So let's remove the hood. I would feel naked without my gauntlets on, so I'm gonna keep those. He's like a never nude, but instead of wearing denim shorts all the time, he's wearing gauntlets all the time. Okay, we're here to get a scarab. Let's pretend like we're just coming here for a different reason, though. It's hard to walk. Like I move so fast that it's hard to walk around here. Like I'm running through the temple. Hello, hello. I don't want to join the guild or get a quest. Might just make a donation. Cure disease. I have none. Great. Buy potions and members only. Got it. My mistake. Make potions. Reserved for guild members only. I'm so sorry for the trouble. Have a good evening, ladies. I think the Daedra Summoners over here are the trainer. Training. Great. Yeah, man, I miss having it a character that goes to the temple. Like, I'd really love the temple faction specifically. But not Bogard, you know, it's not for him. Now let's go ahead and creep downstairs and see what we can see. There They will probably have a guard here if experience serves, but I think we found it in the mausoleum area last time. Yep, let's go ahead and grab this, and we will hustle. We know our way out. We know our way out. We will hustle. All right, into the dead of night. Lantern. Okay. Let's go ahead and set our course for... I guess we can just go to this village over here. Fail to avoid an encounter. Is that Johnny Law or something? Cannot travel with enemies nearby. They can't catch me. Let's go back into our normal clothes. I'm pretty sure Bogard would be easily recognized regardless. Man, I guess I should have stuck around to fight those guards, given my reputation, but it's all good. Yeah, let's go back to putting our cloak on. Go to this village, and I think we'll call it a day there. You know, it's enemies are seeking to prevent your travel. Who would that be? Ah, someone's got an arrow on me. It's too hard to see them at night. I'm not even gonna worry about it. But yeah, if we can get to this village tonight, this would be a great place to wrap up the episode. A hostile group of foes are interrupting your travel. This hill seems really steep and scary. I'm just gonna do that. Hold up. Cure poison. I was fast traveling at an accelerated speed whenever I got the notification that we're poisoned, so it would really suck to have the process of dying from poison accelerated. Man, this is kind of tricky. Am I stuck on a wall right now? I can't tell if I'm just tripping. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we're pretty close. Okay, we made it. Sometimes whenever you're traveling overland and doing the acceleration thing, you'll get stuck on some impassable terrain like a outcropping of rock or a mountain, things like that. But we made it to this village safely. We have the scarab that was requested by the Thieves Guild in our pockets. We have a bunch of blood on our dwarven gauntlets that we're going to want to rinse off in a fountain or a puddle. It's probably so much that it's like on the inside of the gauntlets too at this point. What a bloodbath. Yeah, let's take off the torch, douse it, take off the cloak, go in and get a room and call it a night. Hey, buddy. All right, kitchen's closed. That's all right. Just need a place to rest my weary head. Maybe a couple drinks of ale. All right, let's rest for a good 10 hours. And we'll be ready for a fight, honestly. Empty your sack of rations. I hope I remember to buy some. Just gonna jot that down on my list real quick. Alright, folks. I hope you're enjoying the Anticlere arc half as much as I am. We're going to continue next time by going to the other map that we found, Victolda Cultus. It's a dungeon to the west of us. After that, we're going to hope to make it back to the Thieves Guild within the time limit to not fail another guild quest. Alrighty, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.